So good morning and welcome to a slow morning at home during the school holidays with me and my family. I have two young children at home and this is the Easter holidays, kind of really simple day where we're not rushing anywhere. We're having a slow morning and I'm just going to get a few bits done in the house, and it's really about not spending money and just kind of looking at how being at home can just be just as valuable as, if not more valuable than going out and about. There's my fairy. Look, I'm not perfect. Help. I love the smell of fairy, and I know it's probably not the best in terms of chemicals and things, but that's one of the things I wanted to express really, is that I'm not perfect. I try to be healthy, frugal, low toxin and everything, but sometimes I've just got my guilty pleasures. The kids are kind of doing their own thing this morning. My son was watching telly and my daughter is doing a little bit of reading in her room. She loves books. And then I just get myself in the shower. So I know the kids are quite happy for a bit. So I'll get up, have a wash late morning, and then we're going to make some pancakes. This is a very simple 3-ingredient mainly recipe, which is just eggs, bananas and oats. And my daughter is getting involved, helping with making them. It's really about having a simple, oh look, a bit of cinnamon in there, simple, nourishing, cheap breakfast really, and a little bit of baking powder. A cheap, nourishing breakfast. We compost our skins as well. They will go in the compost and then into our vegetable patch once it has turned into compost, which takes ages, but you know, it's part of the process. And yeah, I'm just blending it up in my blender, which is not one of those really expensive Vitamixes. It's actually a budget version. Before I started cooking, I thought I would just have a little talk, because don't you just find that there's always stuff everywhere? It doesn't matter what you do, you can never have all the sides clear, I feel. And so I just thought, before I start cooking and having food everywhere, and to actually enjoy my food, I like to just put a few things away first, and that's what I'm doing here. One of the main things I just want to show in my videos is that it's not perfect. Not everything is perfect, and that's okay. It's just accepting, the imperfections of life. Here are the pancakes. Lucky they didn't stick today. Sometimes they do. I think I used a bit of coconut oil to cook with and a little bit of honey on the top. I know it's not like organic raw manuka honey today. That's another imperfection. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I go to a farm shop and get local honey. Sometimes it's just the cheap stuff from Tesco, and that'll do. You know, that's the way that our family rolls, and I think that's a reality in terms of affordability. When I put my machine on, we always do a 45-minute wash at 40 degrees. I don't do 30 because I feel like I need 40 degrees to get the dirt out. That's just kind of how I feel. 45 minutes is a really short wash, but it's always enough. I had loads of bananas that were like really super ripe, and this is a little tip for you. If you chop them up before they go rotten and freeze them on a baking tray, you can later put them into a sandwich bag in the freezer, then they're great for putting into smoothies. Now, this is something my son was doing at home, again, like just a free activity. He loves taking things apart, and that's what he's done here. He's taken apart an old toy and he's given it a scrub. That just kept him busy off screens, being creative, and I could just leave him to do that, and that, you know, that. So next I decided to make myself a fresh coffee in my mocha pot. I bought this coffee from a roastery that I was passing down some back roads recently. Well, a few days ago actually, and they ground the beans up for me fresh. That was quite a treat. I haven't done that for a while, but it really does make a difference. I think it was about £8.50 for the bag of coffee, so a little bit more expensive, but you know, like if you're trying to avoid buying coffees out, and about, such as Costa's and nice little coffee shops, this is a good way to, like, you know, replicate that same enjoyable coffee, but without spending, you know, as much as it would cost you to constantly buy coffees out. So, although I do love a coffee out sometimes, and there's a time and a place for that, but they will eat away at your bank balance if you keep doing it. So this was a moment for me to just sit down with my coffee outside, and yeah, I usually just have one coffee a day. It's about balance for me, really. I have done caffeine free before, but you know, I find coffee one of the small joys in life, and I will probably do caffeine free again at some point, but not right now. Next, I was ready to hang my washing out on the line, and yeah, so I just wanted to talk a bit about how I'm trying to live frugally, low cost, low spend. I do things like batch cooking at the moment. I've been learning that recently, particularly with minced beef. I can make a big batch of, I can buy minced beef pretty cheap and make a big batch of a base mixture with which just has kind of like onions, peppers, maybe mushrooms, lots of garlic, tomato, with minced beef, and just kind of bulk that up, and then I'll freeze it and set in like those kind of sandwich bags, lay them flat in the freezer. So I've got pull-out meals during the week, and maybe I'll show you that one day. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. And yeah, I just really have taken a look lately at our finances and things, and you know, the cost of everything's going up. The supermarkets are not cheap, and it's almost like every time you go, you notice the cost creeping up a little bit more, and that's eating away at our disposable income. So yeah, I just think life is not about you know, spending out on things that aren't that important, and that we can, you know, the most important things in life are not expensive, and often are free. So I'm just going to really put the magnifying glass on those things in my videos. That's what I want to do. So I guess my overall message is, in this video, is just the sometimes these are the days that matter the most, aren't they? You know, we see lots of people having exciting days, going here, going there, everywhere. It's tough when you've got kids off from school sometimes, as lovely as it is, and as much as I love spending time with them. I sometimes feel there's a lot of pressure, you know, and by letting go a bit, we can just relax and be a bit happier. Now, this Monopoly game was a bargain. £3.80 in a charity shop, and it's an original. Now, this was the next day, and I just wanted to share it at the end of my video, because I popped into a charity shop with my son, and he's been so Monopoly curious lately because he's come across it. And we just saw this in the window. How lucky was that? And it's a 1970s set, and it's in immaculate condition, really. And it really took me back. Look, I mean, isn't that nostalgic? The money, the houses, the community chest cards, even the instructions just takes me back, especially the little metal pieces. Whose favourite was the little doggy? Because that was mine. And we played it. I played it with my two children. We set it up. They got really engaged, and this was just something that worked. I'm not saying everything works. Sometimes board games and chess pieces end up all over the, you know, being chucked across the room. But today, the Monopoly stayed together, and that was a win for us, really. Yeah, we had a successful game. And you know what? We didn't stick to all the rules. Trying to teach a 7 and a 9-year-old the rules is quite challenging when I am still learning them myself. So yeah, we just played it as we played it, without any expectations, really. And in the end, oh look, get out jail free card, that really helped me out when I was in jail. And yeah, thanks for watching my low cost day. This is what matters most to us, and I hope you'll come back for more. Thanks.